Hello guys, this is the showcase and explanation for this frostbolt comet discipline of varashta build. This is a very good build. It's fairly fast, it's pretty strong, it's very good for bossing, and it's pretty tanky as well. It feels very nice to play this build. And how the build works actually is quite easy. Just a simple frostbolt comet build where we just use frostbolt for trash, and then for bossing we essentially use frostwall. You can use your frostbolt as well, and you can also use frost darts. What I usually do is the rotation is I use one frost wall, and I break it with frostbolt. This creates freeze buildup. You can also use frost bomb to create the freeze buildup, but I don't think it's necessary at all. So I just use this, and then this, and then you can just use frost wall and then spam frost darts. It will just rain comets into the boss and it will melt down the boss. Essentially, the build is quite simple. I started as Stormweaver, but it felt very clunky with the infusions, so you could use as well here infusions, but I feel they are very clunky. They don't feel good at all. And also the main problem was for this build, as I started as Stormweaver, is mana. Mana is really hard to solve. I didn't find a way actually. There is actually no way to solve the mana problem with the casters. That's a huge problem in POE 2 right now. So what we're doing is we don't use mana. that's the solution actually. So we use this chest piece to not to spell to leech spell damage as life, and we also combine it with this belt to access like the recovery from leech is applied as well to energy shield. That's pretty good. And explanation for the skills is very simple. Frostbolt for trash, and shield war and frost arch for the boss. That's essentially it. We're sitting right now at close to 100k DPS with frostbolt, which is pretty much enough to clear everything. If anything dares to survive, you just spam a frost wall in their face and they'll just explode. We're using frost darts for the boss. As you can see, we are using it with rapid casting, so more cast speed, the easier the boss melts down because of the rain of comets. We're using pinpoint critical and everything, so we achieve 100% critical hit chance. We use Unleash. This is just essentially to more cast, more energy on cast and critical, easier to melt the boss. I'm using Cold Mastery and rapid casting. For the frost wall, I'm using cooldown recovery, so it has less cooldown because we can have only 3 of the frost walls. We're also using spell cascade, so this creates, as you can see, 3 walls instead of just 1, and it casts immediately. We're also using pinpoint critical for the same reason, to hit high crit chance. We're using magnificent area and fortress. Fortress, what does is it creates circles, which feels better actually. In our cast and critical, we are using the comet, just one comet right now because we want to use Raketa's flow. We want to have the pinpoint critical. As you can see, the comet has a very high damage. It has a nice crit bonus, and it has a 100% crit chance, so that's why we're using one comet instead of 2. You could use 2, but no, 1 feels nice already. Boundless energy to retain to increase the energy we generate, and energy rotation to retain it. On frostbolt, this is a 32 level frostbolt. With my current setup, we could have at least 2 or 3 levels more, but that feels nice already. We're using this gem because it creates additional projectiles. As you can see, everything casts, we have more projectiles. That's very nice. We're using pinpoint critical, science temper. Oh no, this is the one that creates the projectile. Sorry, this is the one to make the frostbolt faster. Cold mastery and rapid casting. And that's pretty much it for the skills. It's quite simple, as you can see. For the skill tree, I'm using a classic skill tree. As you can see, it's very simple. This is what most of the people use right now. It's a very, very classic skill tree, nothing interesting. We don't take damage nodes at all, just in exception to these ones. We are basically taking just energy shield and crit, both crit chance and crit bonus. As you can see, energy shield, crit, nothing else actually. This is very nice as well. And for the allocation, I'm using cooked over here, which I currently haven't set it up yet because this is a new outlet. I just crafted, but yeah, this is the one that we want to be using. For the jewels, my jewels are very bad, but you just combine it with crit chance, crit bonus, and maximum energy shield. It's the most important one, I would say. Yeah, they're very bad. They're not good. My build is not optimized. It's far from perfect, but it works very, very nice. For the Ascendancy, we are using the disciple because it's very nice. It allows us to use staff and the focus, which is a very good damage boost, and not essentially for damage itself, because damage wise it would be better to use a blood mage or maybe a stormweaver, but we are actually doing it because of this gives us more energy shield. This is very good because when we are low in energy shield and when it starts to recharge, it recharges faster. And this one is very, very nice because it gives us, as you can see, a lot of armor. We get physical reduction 60%, which is very good. It feels very, very tanky. The build itself, it feels very, very tanky. And I'm using Nabir as well because this is basically like a convalescence, but not as good as convalescence because convalescence doesn't stop the recharging when you get hit, and this does stop. So it's worse, but we also leech, so that's completely fine. It feels very, very tanky. This is why the Ascendancy. And damage wise, as you saw, it's very, very good. For the equipment, it's very simple actually, using normal stuff. What you want to be having here is lightning damage, because the gain of lightning damage allows us to shock the enemies, and the plus levels to cold spell skills or level to all spell skills both work. And this is my desecration. This is a staff I craft myself. This is increased damage, spell damage with spells that cost life. This is very, very simple to get. So essentially, if you get a base with crit chance, cast speed, and the levels of the spells, that's pretty much it. Because if you hit the extra lightning damage and you have the desecration, that you can be sure you will have it, because this is a very nice boost. But it could be cold damage, it could be fire damage, it could be, gain of fire damage, gain of cold, everything would be nice actually. We're using the snake pit. This is classic for the frostbolt builds. This is not new, everyone uses it. For the other ring, we are using basically just rarity, because I love rarity. It allows us to farm more, but you could drop it if you struggle with damage resistances or whatever. Cast speed is very important here, and as you can see, I'm just using the rings and the amulet. You can use this ring and the amulet to get to cap resistances. or you can use rarity, you could use shield, whatever you want. Here on the amulet you essentially want the level of all spell skills and increase global defenses or increase energy shield. You also want to have the maximum energy shield because the flat does actually increases a lot our energy shield. For the helmet, my helmet is not very good. Just crit chance. You wanna be having crit chance here. If you feel like you can't cap your resistances, maybe just drop the crit chance. But I feel it's kind of necessary to hit the close to 100%. If you can't hit the resistances, just drop it and add another resistance. That's completely fine. For the focus, you don't want to be like struggling to find the perfect focus, because with the Ascendancy this lowers down the effect of the focus itself. You see the bonuses are halved, so you don't want to be having all 3 levels of all spell skills here, because it won't give you 3 levels, it will just give you 1. So if you want to be having 2 levels here, it should be 4 levels to all spell skills. That's why we don't want it. And as well, here I'm just using it to cap resistances. The energy shield, flat base, you want it to be as high as possible. And the spell damage and everything, well, it's not that important. Could be better. But as you can see, it's the 50% of the value, so it is not necessary at all to have a perfect focus. Here on my boots, I have movement speed and resistances. That's pretty much it. For the gloves, it's basically the same. High ES, the most you can get. As you can see, mine is not good, but it is what I have now, and just cap your resistances. For the chest piece, it's a chest piece that allows us to be alive. Basically, this is what does our life pool into our mana pool. We don't use mana anymore, we use life, so we can spam perma comet on boss, because that was a problem. We weren't able to spam the comet because we ran out of mana all the time, and we can spam the comet because the comet does spend mana. And for the belt, this is a normal belt. You want this belt, but you don't want it to have the you lose energy shield per second, because that breaks the build itself. You are constantly losing energy shield. It will stop it from recharging. This will be useless, so you don't want to have it. Here I have you lose maximum life per second. You don't want to be having that. Actually, I have it, but it's not that bad. On mapping, I don't feel it. It doesn't kill me. It doesn't feel like anything. It is like it wasn't there, but it's kind of annoying on the hideout, because you are 1 low life and you're hearing the sound all the time. You have to mute yourself, or you have to take it off. But it doesn't matter actually. This is a brick stat, but we could have it, or it is not necessary, because if it doesn't have it, the price goes like 10 times the price. So that's why I have this one. And that's pretty much it. This is a very nice build. It's very tanky, feels very strong. It's not slow, because basically the frostbolt doesn't have much of a cast penalty with movement, and you are also not doing this. You are essentially doing 1, 2, 3. You're moving along among the monsters. You're walking through them, and they never kill you. It's very hard to die. What kills you sometimes might be the chaos damage, which we could get to cap it. Actually, that's my next objective. I want to cap it within the, more sockets here. It'd be 10% more. We could have it on the boots, and we would reach near the cap with that. Everything else is just irrelevant. Feels very, very nice. And that's pretty much the build, guys.